the most shocking act that shows the toxicity coming from Amber Heard was that she shit in the bed. In my book, it's unforgivable. Unforgivable. Hi, I'm Denise Isaacs. I've been a divorce lawyer for 40 years, and I don't usually do this. I'm kind of stepping out of my box. I'm going to be talking to you about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I'm going to be focusing on some of the divorce aspects and the other aspects of this case that I haven't been able to tear my attention away from. But first, be sure to like and subscribe, because I'm going to be showing you how to protect yourself financially and legally. Amber Heard has set back the cause of domestic violence victims. The last few weeks of this trial have destroyed the idea that Amber Heard is a defenseless victim of domestic violence. There is already an enormous amount of facts that characterize her as an abuser. Her op-ed piece went all around the world. It went to all of the directors and producers and everyone who then no longer wanted him as an abuser to be in their films. And so the defamed person, Johnny Depp, has to reclaim his reputation. By doing so, he is spreading his entire life in the courtroom. We knew the actor, but we're seeing the person. We're seeing the vulnerable, hurt person. And that's what is so riveting about this. This lawsuit is not just about these people's story. It has more connotations as to how we view marriage, how we view the relationships in marriage, how people bring their demons into marriage. It's just fascinating. Now, I want us to step back for a minute. The basis of the trial is the op-ed article that was written by Amber Heard accusing him of being a batterer and her being a domestic violence victim. Her op-ed article hurt his career and slandered him. She stated she was the representative of all battered women. He lost $50 million because he couldn't get any parts after that. And he claims that he never hit her. This lawsuit is brought by Johnny Depp to restore his reputation. Now, after 40 years of trials, I want to tell you that this is just an extension of a divorce lawsuit where both parties come in and throw complaints and throw dirt on the other party. If Johnny Depp wins and shows that he was not an abuser, that he was merely defending himself, and that she was the one who was the aggressor, that means that he is going to win $50 million. She doesn't have $50 million. It's going to be a pyrrhic victory. The definition of a pyrrhic victory is that you win the lawsuit, you're owed $50 million, and you get nothing because the other person doesn't have any money. She doesn't have the money. He's not going to get paid back. He is seeking the restoration of his reputation. And I don't know that he is going to care that she doesn't have $50 million to repay him. The interesting thing about this case is that this is the first public case where we are seeing that there is abuse of the husband. It's very rare for the male to actually admit that he was the victim and for there to be this kind of proof. She is claiming to be the victim, but the facts are showing that she was the aggressor and the abuser. And now the entire public is seeing that women are not just victims, that they can be abusers also. The image is going to stay in the public mind for decades, and this sets back the cause of battered women. So how did it all come to this? They got married in February of 2015, and they got divorced in May of 2016. That was 2 years before this particular op-ed piece. Amber Heard had it published in the Wall Street Journal in 2018. 2 years later. Why, after 2 years, would she be looking to stab her former husband in the back? That questions her motivation. It also makes you question the veracity, the truthfulness of what she is saying. The gist of the article was that she was claiming to be physically abused by Johnny Depp. He wasn't mentioned in the article, but from the minute that article was published, there wasn't a single person who didn't know that she was talking about Johnny Depp. The result of that article going viral around the world was that Johnny Depp lost business. He was cut out and removed from the Harry Potter movie, and he lost his part in the Pirates of the Caribbean. There are laws against slander. However, you have to prove damages. In this case, her article ended up having financial consequences for Johnny Depp. And yes, you can sue to be reimbursed for what you've lost due to the other person slandering you. If what she wrote was not true, she was responsible directly for harming Johnny Depp's career. You can call someone a jerk. You can call them bad names. What's the consequences? Nothing. But if your statement results in someone losing business, you are going to be responsible for that. You can say many, many bad things, but when you say something that directly affects their reputation, directly affects their earning ability, there are financial consequences, and you're going to get sued. But only if it is not true. If you're telling the truth is 100% defense. You cannot be sued for telling the truth. Johnny Depp's lawsuit is going to fail if Amber Heard proves that he was a batterer. And now we come to the trial. In divorce trials, they need to bring in proof to underscore that they're telling the truth. So that's why they use texts, videos, even if they were secretly taped. And that's why each side has brought in the psychologists and psychiatrists to show what happened. When my clients come in to see me in their divorce trials, I tell them to get off social media, to stop texting the other party, stop emailing anything that can be used against them. So here is the perfect example. Each of them is trying to use the videos, the texts, the emails to show that the other person was actually admitting that they had done something bad, that they had been an abuser. That is what the purpose of all of the videos, all of this social media stuff, all of these emails and communication back and forth. Up to this point, there has been nothing that has been shown from all of these communications and tapes that shows Johnny Depp admitting that he was physically abusive. It doesn't mean coming up in Amber Heard's half of the trial that she is not going to have her own exhibits that may or may not show him admitting to being abusive. We'll just have to see. So the takeaway from this is make sure you don't admit anything in your emails and in your texts and in any videotape with your spouse. First, they used the messages and the communication in the videos, and that at this time has not proven an admission of guilt. So now what the parties are doing is they're bringing in the experts to show who was the abuser. Johnny Depp has a neutral psychologist who did tests and participated in a number of different studies of Amber Heard. She found that Amber was the aggressor. Amber was not a victim. She was the perpetrator of violence. She said Amber Heard was histrionic and that she was an attention seeker, that she would follow him and that she couldn't bear to be abandoned. She'd rather fight with him than allow him to leave. Johnny Depp wanted to de-escalate and he wanted to just step back and go into another room, and Amber Heard wouldn't allow him to do that. She was the aggressor in pushing this. This neutral psychologist found that she had a borderline personality. What a borderline personality is somebody who makes up the truth and they truly believe it. Now we're going to see the second half where Amber brings in her therapists to prove that Johnny was an abuser. Amber's going to bring in her texts against Johnny, those texts where he said X, Y, and Z. So the second half is going to be as fascinating as the first half. The other thing that is very troubling about this case is Amber's actions towards Johnny Depp, her continuous criticism of him. So he was walking on eggshells, and every single thing he did, she criticized. This is a year's marriage, and she's calling him stupid. She's calling him fat. That is not exactly an ideal marriage. But the worst part of it is her trying to emasculate him and enrage him. Whether or not she had affairs with James Franco or Jason Momoa or Elon Musk doesn't matter. What matters is that she used the knowledge that Johnny had of her spending time with these people and promoted the idea to him of her betraying him with these other men. That's the ultimate emasculation of a man. But the most shocking and demonstrative act that shows the toxicity coming from Amber Heard was that she shit in the bed. If it's the dog's shit or her shit, whatever it is, the part of it that's shocking is that she would degrade her husband to the extent of treating him in such a disrespectful manner. I have never heard of such an abuse of a husband like she did to him. That was aggression. That was treating him like he was garbage. And it shows the essence of this case. This toxic woman did this to get a reaction. Her actions were just another strike at him. She is after him physically, she's after him mentally. There's no point that she wouldn't go to in order to crucify him. In my book, it's unforgivable. Unforgivable. But beyond that, this case is going to make judges and juries think twice before finding the female victim of domestic abuse has truly been battered. That is the bad result from having an untrue domestic violence article written. People are going to question whether or not these really are victims of domestic violence. That makes me very, very sad. On that note, be sure to like and subscribe because we are going to be getting into new issues every week.